Alright guys, welcome back to the FinTech Outsider. This is the third episode and today is probably the most exciting so far. Because today I'm gonna talk about money. And I'm gonna focus on one of the many characteristics of money. But before we start, I wanna walk you through them all. So this is how I define money, I should be clear on that. Money should be durable, portable, divisible, uniform, scarce, and accepted. With that said, what I mean by durable is that if you dig something down today and dig it up 1 year later, it should be there. So if you dig down a US dollar, it will probably be there by that time if no one is stealing that money. But if you're digging down a cow or an apple, it will probably be rotten by that time. So cow and apples aren't that durable. It should be portable, which means that if you go to the store, you can bring money from your home and pay for them, and then you can easily bring them back again. Imagine having to take a cow or an apple again. It's okay, an apple would probably be pretty easy, but a cow would definitely not be easy. It should be divisible. You should be able to split it into smaller amounts. So if you have a 10 US dollars, you should be able to split them into cents. It should be uniformed, which basically means that if you think about a cow or something else that has different sizes and shapes, they are not that particularly uniformed. And it's much easier to have, for example, a US dollar or like a US dollar bill and pay with that, because they are all looking the same, so they are uniformed. It should be scarce. That's the one I'm gonna talk more about today. So it's got to have a limited supply. And accepted. So it should be accepted anywhere you're basically trying to use this money. And yeah, as I mentioned, I will talk about scarcity. And today I will focus especially much on one specific metric when it comes to scarcity. And this metric is called the stock to flow ratio. I'm not sure if you've heard of that before. It's actually kind of quite commonly used when it comes to gold, when measuring gold. And what it basically means is that you have a stock and a flow. And the stock is basically showing the existing amount of something. It can be of any asset out there or any tangible thing or digital thing, as you will see. And the flow is the yearly production, the amount of new asset or things that's coming into existence every year. So existing amount that exists, the amount that's being created every year. All right? Make it easier, I am going to give you some different kinds of examples, and we're gonna start with gold. So these are gold numbers from 2019. So the amount of gold in existence today that's been mined, so it's overground, is 185,000 tons. And the amount of yearly production, so the amount of gold that's being mined and comes into existence this year, is 3,000 tons. And if we're gonna measure the stock to flow ratio, what we're doing is we take the stock, 185,000, and we divide it by the flow, which is 3,000, and we get a number 62. What this number basically tells you is that it would take 62 years if the yearly production was 3,000 tons a year to reach the amount of 185,000 tons. So that's a pretty long time, but if you don't compare it to anything, it doesn't say anything. So silver, for example, has a stock to flow of 22. So it would take 22 years for silver of yearly production of silver to reach the existing silver stockpile. So gold is much more scarce, almost 3 times as scarce as silver. And if we compare it to something else, ta-da, if we're looking into Bitcoin, this is actually kind of interesting because Bitcoin has a current stockpile of 18 million. So there are 18 million Bitcoins in existence today. And the yearly flow of Bitcoin is 657,000 Bitcoin. So there are 657,000 Bitcoin coming into existence in 2019. And this implies that the stock to flow is 18 million divided by 657,000, which gives us a number of 27. So Bitcoin has a higher stock to flow ratio than silver, which implies that Bitcoin is more scarce than silver, which is very interesting. But if we are comparing, for example, Bitcoin and gold, it still lacks a bit. Like gold is much more scarce than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has something that gold doesn't have, called the halvening, which means that approximately every 4 years, it's coded in the Bitcoin code that the amount of Bitcoin that is being issued will halve. So to visualize this and show it, I will show you how much Bitcoin there will be in existence in May. So as we are mining from today, there will come new Bitcoins into existence. So by the time of May 2020, there will be 18,375,000 Bitcoins in the stock. So the number of Bitcoin that will exist will be this many. And the yearly flow of Bitcoin will be halved. So from 657,000 to 328,500, which gives us a stock to flow ratio of 56. So from 27 to 56, so we've been more than double the stock to flow ratio by the halvening. So Bitcoin has how should I say, a decreasing amount of Bitcoin that is being produced every 4 years, which actually strengthens its scarcity. If we compare this to gold, I increased the stockpile as well, because this is gold 2020 in May. I increased the stockpile by approximately half a year. So we have 186,500 tons of gold by that time. But the flow doesn't have the halvening, so the flow will still be 3,000 and not 1,500. Because gold is not programmable money as Bitcoin is, so it will probably be around the same. And if we are looking at the stock to flow for gold, it will still be approximately the same, around 62. And the interesting thing with this is that, by 2020 in May, gold will still have a better or higher stock to flow, which implies that it's more scarce than Bitcoin. But in 4 years' time after that, when the next halvening comes from Bitcoin, we're just gonna have like 100 and not even 200,000 Bitcoins being produced per year. Then Bitcoin will have a stock to flow ratio of 113, I think, which implies that it will be the most scarce asset on Earth. That's very, of course, there are probably lots of more scarce things. For example, me. No. Yeah, I should be more scarce. I should be, okay, let's not go into that discussion. Anyway, Bitcoin will be more scarce than gold by 2024. And then, if we're looking at this one again, scarcity of money. No, characteristics of money. We have scarcity here. And then Bitcoin will be number 1 here. And let's not go too deep into this now, but we will look at the other characteristics another day. That's all for today. I hope you learned something and you feel, that you got a bit excited, because I did at least. Thank you.